On this video, I want to talk about some of the things that you can really do to ensure that you're getting the type of success you want with your health program. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to lose weight or you're looking to increase energy, sleep better. Everyone's always going to do better with a coach. There's no question. Some of the most successful people in the world have coaches, they have mentors, gurus, either to go through strategies to immediately implement or maybe course correct based on uh, kind of the direction a person's moving in. And so you're always going to do better with a coach. And for the average person, if they've got a question, they're not always going to have access to their coach. And sometimes you want that answer immediately. And so what we've done is we've trained uh, our custom educational coach around our health system. And so it doesn't matter if you're looking, again, to increase energy or lose weight or sleep better. A lot of these things are just a reflection that your body is out of balance. And the driver for a lot of people today is weight loss. And with our program, the average person's losing, I think females are about 23 pounds in 6 weeks, and in guys, it's about 35, 36 pounds, I think, in 6 weeks. It's a 10-week program, but this is really about optimizing your health. It's about, again, sleeping better, better energy, and of course, a byproduct of a healthier individual is you're going to be able to naturally release weight without any kind of drugs. And it's very sustainable. And what we have to think about is cause and effect. We also want to make sure moving forward, not only can we sustain this, but we're not going to have any side effects because, again, we're not doing any kind of drugs. So when it comes to health, there's really three primary drivers that I've found. There's the mental side of things or mindset, there's the emotional component, and then there's the physical component. And so when it comes to health programs, we've got kind of the structure of the program or the mechanics involved in the program. But you can have the best program in the world, and if you're not following through with that program or you're not taking action, then it really doesn't matter. So we want to make sure that we really leave no stone unturned. We focus on mindset, the emotional component, and then the physical component. So what I want to do is share with you our on-demand precision health coach. And I'm going to just take it through a couple of questions so you can kind of see how it works. But again, the great thing about it is if you have questions, it's available 24/7, which, there's no coach in the world that's available 24/7, but it's been programmed around very specific parameters. So it's not like, if you go to a particular, whether you're doing a data search on, or you're doing a search on Google, or you're using like ChatGPT and just asking general questions. Part of it is your output is only as good as your input. And this is very customized based on all the different things that we've seen over our years in terms of what people need. And it's very customized, very detail oriented. So you're not just getting general information. So what I'm going to do now is just share my screen with you. And then I'll just kind of go through the process, and we'll go through some different questions of what you can ask your coach, and you can see the detail of the answers. So I'm going to share that with you now. And what you'll find is when we get into, first of all, I got to make sure that there we are. Okay. So let's say that you're a person who's always struggled with maybe motivation, maybe discipline. You kind of have this identity that, I'm a person that struggles to get started. And then when I get started, I just get easily derailed. And so I have a real tough time sticking to health programs, weight loss programs, and that's just kind of the identity you have. Now, over all my years of studying and participating in the arena of health and fitness, I've always looked at myself as someone who was very disciplined. Um, so many times I didn't feel like exercising and I just went and did it because I knew I had to do it. So I've always thought of myself as a very structured and disciplined person when it comes to my health, whether it's, sleep hygiene or nutrition or fitness. And so what we have to examine before we do anything is how do we see ourselves? Because if you see yourself as someone who's not very disciplined, those are the actions that will follow. So we have to change that identity oftentimes with people. And I'll just show you how we've programmed this and how you can play around with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm dictating this because it's so much faster than typing. So what I'll do is I'll dictate into this, and then you can see how much quicker that is than just typing it out. So I'm a person that has an identity that I'm not very disciplined. I have a very difficult time sticking with programs and particularly health programs. And I really struggle following through with weight loss programs. This is my current identity. And what I would like you to do is help me formulate a new identity. And so my current identity is what I just told you. And what I want is I want to lose 25 pounds. I want to, go through this program in a way that it doesn't feel like it's a lot of work and I feel like I can sustain it. So create a new identity for myself or a future me and what that identity would be. So I find it easier to follow through with this program. Now, one of the things you can tell is, I was very specific in how I'm asking these questions and directing it. And what I'm doing is I'm putting together more and more questions and formats so people can actually start to get more comfortable with asking more sophisticated questions. Because remember, your input is always going to equal your output. So when when we go through a lot of these questions that we'll ask, again, the more detail we can give it, the better output it's going to give us. And again, it starts with mindset. And then, again, we're looking at the emotional component, and then it's the mechanics, because it doesn't matter how good the mechanics of the program are if you're not going to follow through. So here's the output we get. That's an excellent place to begin, and you're already demonstrating one of the most important steps in transformation, identity awareness. So what it will do is it will give you steps. So define your new identity and this is one of the educational workbooks I put together for the program. But identity change begins with commitment to an outcome that aligns with your values and your purpose, not perfection. Okay, what we're trying to do is become excellent, not perfect. So here's a new working identity. I'm a steady, self-honoring person who supports my health with ease and rhythm. I show up for myself consistently, not through force, but through trust and gentle structure. So it'll just kind of give you different ways that you can start to communicate with yourself. So when things get tough, you lean on who you are, and you're just a person who, even when it's challenging, you're always committed to follow through because of the outcome you want to obtain. So it'll show you different kind of exercises you can go through in this process. So it'll reframe kind of how you communicate with yourself. Um, here's something I think is really neat. Discipline means I design my environment so my success feels natural. So again, it's going to give you all these different frameworks. It's going to give you the best way to communicate yourself. You can see step 4, create a mini vision of future you. So you can actually write this down. I wake up feeling calm and centered. I follow my rhythm and nourishing meals and hydration because it feels good. My body and my mind work together. I finish what I start because my actions are an expression of who I am, balanced, capable, and light. Okay. So mindset again, very, very important. Now, when we get into, say, some of the mechanics, there in our initial release phase, we go through where we're eating no fat. And what we want to do is tap into our fat reserves for our source of energy. And so what what happens is we become more fat adaptive. So we start to use our fat stores as a source of energy opposed to carbohydrates. So I'll just um, put in this question and then you can kind of see how things work. So I'm kind of confused why I'm not consuming fat in the release phase. Can you help me understand that better? Now, again, like our program comes with a manual, so you're reading through everything. But if something doesn't make sense and you want it to explain it, then you just put that question in, and it'll come. Why not add faster in the release phase? So in the release phase, we're going to go through, it's designed to liberate store fat while resetting hormonal and metabolic sensitivity. It's not a long-term low-fat lifestyle. It's a temporary therapeutic state with a very specific physiological goal. So it tells us, what's happening metabolically. Your body's already using internal fat as fuel, and then you're teaching your body to become fat adapted from within. So it kind of goes through all the kind of the science of some of the questions you might have. Okay, so let's say you want to trip it up a little bit and just kind of test it. Now I'm in the release phase. Can you give me 4 meals for dinner that would actually have guacamole in it? So obviously we know guac has fat in it, so let's just see what the coach comes up. This is the kind of question someone with your new identity asks. You're not rebelling against structure, you're learning to co-create with it. Quick reminder, the release phase equals fat release mode. During this phase, we keep added fats, including guacamole, avocado, nuts, seeds, etc., out. So we couldn't trip up the coach there. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask, give me 4 example meals in the release phase. Now, if you don't like specific vegetables or fruits, you can actually say, make sure that this doesn't have, broccoli or cauliflower or zucchini. And I don't like strawberries, or I've got a food intolerance to strawberries. So you can put all that information in. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a fan of broccoli or cucumbers, and I have a food intolerance for strawberries. So, can you arrange my protein and my fibrous vegetables and all my free vegetables on the program with this information in mind? Now, The reason why I'm dictating, I think the average person types probably 30 to 40 words a minute, and we can speak 200 words a minute. So by dictating it, and I use a program called Whisper, which is a really great dictation app that you can use on your computer. Now, you can see this also has a little microphone that you can dictate. However, Whispers very rarely does it ever make mistakes, which is really nice. Dictating here, very good, but sometimes you'll get mistakes. But again, we can be super efficient. We can get through a lot of questions, which will save you a ton of time if you don't have to type. So let's just see what it comes up with. Okay, so let's build a release phase compliant. No added fats, no oils, no unapproved condiments, honoring your preferences. No broccoli, no cucumber, no strawberries. So here it is. Lemon herb whitefish with asparagus and an apple. Savory turkey cabbage skillet with berries, garlic ginger chicken. So it's got all the foods, and it'll give you different examples. Flavor tip. You could mix some ginger, Bragg's liquid aminos, and that's in your approved list of foods. So lots of really good action and action items and the ability to create recipes and food plans. Now you can do, you can actually ask for any kind of food plan with some of the AI programs that are out there. But this is very specific to someone who is looking to uh, nurture or heal their nervous system. Most people live in fight or flight, and so their body's holding on to that extra weight or they're not sleeping well. So what we're trying to do, or they lack energy. So what we're trying to do is calm the nervous system. We're trying to downregulate your fight or flight or your sympathetic nervous system, upregulate more parasympathetic activity so your body can really heal. So this isn't a program about weight loss. It's not a program about sleep or energy. These are byproducts of a healthier body. Now, again, the big driver is a lot of people want to lose weight. And again, we've got tremendous results, people losing 25 to as much as 50 pounds in their first 6 weeks, and their body's just letting it go. They're sleeping better, no joint pain. So really, really great stuff. In the program, we use data tracking. So we use the Aura Ring. And so that can track your sleep, your breath rate, your heart rate, the state of your nervous system. So I'll just ask a question. So I seem to be I'm struggling with my sleep. My sleep scores aren't very good according to my Aura Ring. Can you give me some strategies to optimize my sleep? Now, sleep is a big one for a lot of people. So, and with a ring, you actually have an app, so you're getting all this data that's sent to your app. So, metabolic sleep optimization. So, talks about your circadian rhythm, your eating your eating window. So, we want to finish our last meal about 3 hours before bed, so our digestion isn't competing with our sleep. Different hydration, light exposure, nervous system regulation. So it goes through all these different breathing type exercises you can go through to enhance all of those elements. So literally whatever question you have around the program, around again enhancing energy, maybe lowering heart rate, your breath rate, uh, what you need to do if you want to formulate different nutrition uh, in terms of the ratio. So what we're doing is we're doing 4 ounces of protein and 4 ounces of approved veggies, and then 4 ounces of what we call free veggies. So the program is actually very specific, very well laid out, and it will answer any questions that you have when you direct them towards your coach. But you can see it's coming up with very, very detailed explanations of the things that we can do. So there's so many different things I can show you, and I'll probably do that in another video, just kind of show you some of the capabilities of it. But you can see how robust the program is, and I just showed you a couple of things. But if you are looking for, you know, more energy, better sleep, better digestion, improved skin, decreased joint pain, um, certainly weight loss has been a big, big deal for a lot of our clients. Uh, Take a look at this program and this 24/7 optimization strategist or this coach that you have available. There's just so many great applications. You can get so much out of it. So if you like what you saw, you're intrigued, give us a call, and we'd love to do a consult with you, see if the program's right for you. And again, having a coach 24/7, it's a huge, huge deal. So until I see you later, go out and make it a great day. You certainly do deserve it. Bye for now.